Hello and welcome to the 2006 UK Cup SuperKart Races, based this year at Kirkistown Race Circuit. Located on the scenic Ards Peninsula, the many tourist attractions, rolling hills and the spectacular coastline will be competing for the attention of the spectators arriving here at the circuit, as well as the roaring engines of the UK's top competitors as they wage war for the UK Cup. Now we join Ken Walker, who will take us through the heats and finals.
So as the Charles Hurst Chrysler Jeep peels off, these are the 125s, the class sponsored by Stena Line. Several of the English competitors taking advantage of their sponsorship, but it's Irish guys at the front and we're racing, and it's James Irvine in that red and white livery jumping into the lead from the red and yellow livery of Justin Doherty. But this is the British champion, this is Paul Platt. Well, Paul Platt doesn't get 100 yards in the race, so a very disappointing start for him. On the other hand, James Irvine, the Undertaker from Carrickfergus, moving forward. Kart number 3 you see there is the best of the English lads at the moment, Barry Armstrong. Barry from Lymm in Cheshire, driving a Formula 1 TM or an F1 TM, as we move out from Colonial 1 and 2 and down towards the far side of the circuit from the start line, this on the opening lap. Well, James Irvine is kart number 45, Justin Doherty kart number 35, but it's 45 who you see clearly. Lovely action shot there by James Irvine, and you just couldn't miss, could you, the name Irvine right on the front. Andrew Hamilton featuring strongly there, kart number 95. In the back of your screen you saw number 10, which is John Plaskett, who created a record in England for never having missed a championship race and never having failed to complete one. But more serious business, Justin Doherty goes into second place at the expense of Damien Sleep. I don't think I called Damien Sleep when he was running in second place initially. Sorry about that, Damien. Almost the perpetual number 4, and Damien Sleep fighting back on Justin Doherty, isn't he? But the guy in the front is James Irvine, and in fact Barry Armstrong and Damien Sleep are making it an all northwest of England scrap for 3rd and 4th, but it's an all Northern Ireland scrap at the front, James Irvine and Justin Doherty. A little bit further down the field we see one or two stragglers who are not featuring, but the orange leathers and the white helmet of James Irvine now coming under serious pressure. And in fact the scrap for first and the scrap for third are very, very good dices, aren't they? You see 4 and 95 there. 95 Andrew Hamilton from Brashane in Northern Ireland. Oh, and kart number 73, that's Scobie, isn't it? Everett McDowell from Parkgate, known to everybody as Scobie. Well, right at the moment is known as not going forward. You see from our caption that James Irvine holding off the challenge of Justin Doherty. Damien Sleep and Andrew Hamilton having their dice, karts numbers 0, 4 and 95. Barry Armstrong in kart number 3 was also taking close order, just lost sight of him on the screen at the moment, but we know that that dice for the lead is as strong as ever. Oh, and how, just look here, this is 10/10 driving, isn't it? James Irvine going through with an advantage over Justin Doherty. Andrew Hamilton in 3rd place, and the best of the non-Northern Irish drivers, Damien Sleep. And Justin Doherty sweeps into the lead. What a lovely move there, but goes a little bit wide, and James Irvine fighting back. Oh, this is superkart racing at its best. And you know, folks, all year the 125s have delivered racing like this. A really, really good dice, and there's no better exponents than Justin Doherty and James Irvine, although perhaps Paul Platt would say, hang on a minute, Ken, I'm the British champion and I'd have been up there with him. James Irvine concedes the lead to Justin Doherty. Justin Doherty taking the lead, glances over his left shoulder. That was a little momentary glance to say, hey, have I broken you? Well, you've taken the lead, Justin, but you haven't broken James. James fighting back, although there is a little bit more gap. And clipping the curb there, Andrew Hamilton fighting hard in kart number 95. Andrew Hamilton is driving an Anderson chassis. I think that's, not sure if it's the Pervasive motor, so maybe I shouldn't have said that, but what we do know is that he's in a strong 3rd place. Kart number 35, Justin Doherty. Well, oh, and just look how close Andrew Hamilton is now getting to James Irvine. 3 Northern Ireland drivers really making this a tremendous race. Was going to say that I've seen Justin Doherty for, well, just about the last 10 years in British superkart racing, and I have referred to him in the past as the best driver never to have won a British championship. At the moment, fighting to hold the lead from James Irvine. James Irvine just having a nibble on the inside, but not able to convert it to a passing manoeuvre. And of course James Irvine now not able to simply say, how do I attack Justin? He's got to close the door on Andrew Hamilton. So here at this very attractive Kirkistown circuit here on the Ards Peninsula in Northern Ireland, playing host to a fabulous first, second and third dice between these wonderful Northern Irish 125 drivers. There is Justin Doherty from Ballymoney, well in fact in shot now in the white helmet and the orange racing overalls. James Irvine from Carrickfergus, Andrew Hamilton from Brashane. Kart number 4 there, the perpetual number 4, Damien Sleep, sponsored by ISS. 0, Richard Ward from Thirsk in the northeast of England. Oh, and Craig Underhill's gone grass tracking and will not continue. But unlucky Craig, but no real damage done other than a DNF. Well, what do you make of this? How close do you like your 125 racing? Pretty good, isn't it? Justin Doherty has the advantage from James Irvine and Andrew Hamilton third. Just mentioning 0, which was Richard Ward, who came into shot moments ago, and I think was gone through previously. He's driving a different type of machine, the F1 chassis, the TM motor, but more in a short circuit trim than the full-bodied superkart. There you get a nice shot of the short circuit trim being a little bit less fulsome than the full-bodied superkart trim. This is the full-bodied Justin Doherty from Ballymoney in Northern Ireland, leading James Irvine and Andrew Hamilton. Number 4, Damien Sleep, sponsored by ISS, and Paul Platt's back on the circuit, isn't he? Paul Platt is having a few laps of Kirkistown. He's not going to feature in the results in this one because he must be 2 or 3 laps down, but nevertheless it's worth getting out for a few laps. But Justin Doherty, James Irvine, Andrew Hamilton, the 1, 2, 3, best of the Englishmen, Damien Sleep. Damien from the northwest of England, the Manchester area, or the greater Manchester area. You see also that very distinctive checkered flag type helmet that Damien's driving in. Well, Justin's putting a little bit of margin between himself and the field, isn't he? But Andrew Hamilton keeping the pressure on James Irvine. And there is Justin Doherty, kart number 35, the red and yellow distinctive livery, Pathologic Racing. Pathologic, of course, Justin's business, very, very innovative business really in terms of modern 21st century electronic aids. And the Irishmen have created a big gap. But here is Damien Sleep leading Paul Platt. But of course, if Paul Platt passes Damien Sleep, he doesn't take a place off Damien, because by my reckoning, Paul must be at least 4 laps down, having in effect failed to start. Oh, and as the cameras pan round, what do we see? There is the scrap. And cameraman just listening to what I'm saying. Damien Sleep holding off Paul Platt, but as I say, Paul not really racing for places. He's just getting racing miles and racing laps under his belt. Kart number 95, the predominantly blue livery, is Andrew Hamilton from Brashane. You saw on kart number 4, Damien Sleep's machine, ISS, clearly indicating his sponsors, but Irvine Monumental Masons. Irvine monumentally good superkart driver is another way of saying it. I'll spare you the bit about Undertaker Monday to Friday, but an overtaker at the weekend, it would be a little bit too corny to say that, wouldn't it?